back to our YouTube channel.
How we doing?
Hi, welcome back.
It's your girl Adejoke.
And it's your girl Teni.
And today we have a special guest amongst us. Drum roll.
Woohoo!
So we have a renowned long distance runner and a multiple gold medalist, a neuro nurse, and a scholar, as well as a very prominent person from a beautiful village in Kenya who has now immigrated to the United States and currently lives in the United States. So give it up for
Kip!
Kip.
I'll go by Kip because they call me Kip nowadays. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to our YouTube channel. We're excited to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, Kip,
Yeah.
thank you for coming. So, basically, we're just trying to find out. Your story is kind of, it's a long journey. You came all the way from Kenya. So, can you tell us, like, how did you come here? Like, what was the whole process like? And she said you're a long distance runner, and that's like a stereotype that we hear about
these legs.
Kenyans.
Yeah.
But even the shoes, even when running shoes, it shows how much he likes running. So how's your journey like? What was your story?
My journey. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
when did you start running?
So running wise, it all started back in the day when we were, back in the village. We call it village, but it's home. Where I call home is Kenya, a place called Kaigat. So I was born more in the Cheptil, Kaigat region. We grew up herding cows and sheep. And of course, the only routes we knew back then was your foot. We only had feet to walk with, no cars, and rarely we see bicycles around. So that's the only way you move. And the way to go faster is by running. So that's how it all began.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you started running as a means of survival, basically.
Not really a means of survival, but it's a way of life. It's a way of life.
Wow.
The only transportation thing you can afford is what God has blessed you with, which is the two precious legs.
Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So about this so when did you actually take running more on a sports level? Because I know you did it as a lifestyle, but how did you transition from lifestyle to, oh, this is like something I actually want to do as a sport? So you could have gone into another sport. You could have done soccer. You could have done swimming. You could have done any other sport, but you chose running.
The beauty about running is it doesn't cost you anything. And if you were coming from a poor background or from a place where you only use what you got to provide you your daily means or your daily food, like your hands, use your hands to get food, your feet to go places to, find ways of making hands meet. So running came in. So running was just a lifestyle. So by the time I was in high school, after high school, I didn't have a way to college. So, when you have no funds to go to college, the only thing you can do is just go back home and just do the living thing you're doing. Just the same thing, running to the village or running to the city, all those kind of movements that will spare you a change for food or for something, for shelter. So then after high school, I heard about scholarships. When you have to run, you just run and then they pay for your school. So one of my family or some friends or some colleagues, through some other colleagues, were like, "Hey, do you wanna go try out?" Because I'd been home for like 3-4 years after high school. So they were like, "Yeah, you can give this a shot and see how you do." So I was invited to go compete or kind of like join a competition where it was a scholarship competition where you have to go and whether you have to go and then they kind of weigh and see, hey, how is he gonna do with running? So we were placed in like a bunch of us from different places, different villages too. They were all coming with the same interest, but to get a scholarship to go to the US. So the dream goal was to come here. So it was really about the scholarship anymore. It was a way to come to the United States. So it was more like, hey, you can run, you can pay for your school, and you'll be taken care of. Full scholarship. So
you're gonna run for the school?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
so basically you found your way to the US on a full ride scholarship through running.
Through running.
Hey.
The only thing you could do was just run. Do the same thing you love doing every day. Running.
How competitive was it for you to get the scholarship?
Oh my, it was very competitive. So the one thing about me is back home we have a church, and the church I used to go to was the Seventh Day Adventist Church or the SDA churches. We have this group called Pathfinders, and we used to go out for camping. That's why they teach you a lot of survival skills. You go camping for like every year we had at least 2 weeks. You go out there, camp, and every morning they could wake you up for a run because they emphasize on physical fitness and the beauty of keeping the body as a temple of God or as just a holy thing that God can dwell in. So you have to be physically fit, mentally, spiritually, all that stuff, emotionally. And running was one of the ways that could help us with the discipline aspect of it. And once you get running in the morning, then that things can follow. So they could wake us up early in the morning at 5 or 5:30. They will come hit your tents. They come wake you up. We will go for running, then come back, take a shower, and start the day. So that's how running started every morning. And since then, I just been loving running and being an adventurous guy. Adventure is my thing. So the only way to cover a big distance is run. Yeah.
Yeah, just to reiterate, I think that's a very beautiful story you just shared, getting a scholarship from Kenya because you could run to come run at Liberty University on a full ride scholarship to go to nursing school, I believe. You finished, you're a nurse now, so that was for nursing school, right?
Yes, it began as a pre-med, then nursing. Yeah,
Wow. So you basically combined nursing and being an
not
athlete.
yeah,
That's like two very demanding, schedules. I can't even
very
imagine. I mean,
demanding.
I wasn't even an athlete, and even that was demanding. So how did you like balance your time? Like, how did you manage your schedule and everything?
Ooh, well, this comes back down to discipline. If you're a steward or if you're a child of God, they teach you about stewardship of time factors. And the, at most cases, I never really know how I made it through nursing school or being in the athletic
No one
department.
does.
And
Like we're just going through the motions.
yeah, so it was a blessing though. Like being in a college where Christianity is valued the most, I kind of chose Liberty because of the Christian school, and having athletes or coaches and professors who really rely more on God as a guide on and God is a lover of hardworking people and those who prioritize what's the best or the most important things. So it happened that I think it's just mainly God. I don't know how I did it. It's just God because most people are dropping off. It was hard. So
People are
hard.
dropping out.
Yeah, almost everybody was dropping out. Even my own schoolmates. I couldn't get out of the athletic department because I was relying on that to pay for my school, and I and the only way to keep being in school was running for the school because I couldn't afford it without the school.
So you
So
were basically between a rock and you can't leave, athletics to focus on nursing. But you can't leave nursing to focus on athletics because
yes, yeah, I
you
need
need to
both.
have a
I
good
need,
GPA.
yeah, I need both.
That's a lot. Wow.
Well, yeah, that's really a big thing. I think you were faced with a challenge where there was it's either you keep going,
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have a
you can go
choice.
back.
yeah, you needed a balance because they could say if you don't do well in class, you lose your scholarship. You don't
Hmm.
do well in the field or the running, you lose your scholarship.
So
And
you have to be
if
good.
you lose either of those, you go back home. And who wants to go back home?
Well,
So
I like the fact that you mentioned that the major factor that that was a driving force for you was God, your faith, and being a steward of time. You talked about stewardship of time.
yeah,
Now, time
stewardship of
management is very key, regardless. So I think those two factors were quite helpful for you, regarding even despite everything. That's good to know. I don't know, for some schools, I know that the athletes, they make sure they have a reading time. They have to be there. They have to be in the library. Is that the same for Liberty University?
maybe if you're not doing well, if you are struggling, they will require you to to meet some reading times. But for me personally, I feel like I was blessed with ability to do well. To
That's
some
good.
extent, I was doing well somehow, but yeah, I was thankful for that. I don't know how that happened, but yeah,
Well, that's good.
it's God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
just
God.
have that like special
And
light in you.
and
From
yeah,
God.
if you're an active person and you trust God the most, God is the provider of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. God is the provider of the good health. So all this guidance that God gives you when it comes to what you eat, how to take care of your body, and you're required to be hardworking. So you can't really be lazy either. Because once you're lazy, you're not a child of God. Because hey, laziness is really not godliness, and cleanliness is also godliness. So I had to be clean. I had to be thorough with everything I was given. Being a steward of everything: the body, the time, the talent. Whatever God has blessed you with, just do the best with it, and yeah, He just places you one way or the other. Like it just works out great. He's a perfecter of everything, so it worked out good. So I was thankful for that.
That's pretty profound. That's pretty profound. I think you already said, some of the things that you did, which is strong and solid. I just need to take it back a little bit. So you said getting the scholarship. So for running, was it only Liberty University that was in Kenya at that time, when there were several schools which you could? Because I know you said the reason you chose Liberty was because it was a Christian school. So were
Um,
there other options?
Actually, Liberty was not there. It was another school. It's a neighboring school. It's called Campbell. It was the coach who was there, but there were other coaches too who seemed to be. I didn't know much of them, but I knew of this one coach because he was white in color. But yeah, he was from here. You could tell, hey, this is a visitor who's looking for athletes. But I didn't know much about him. All I knew was a guy told me, hey, come run. There's a coach here. He might pick you up if you do well. So, and he did like how I was running. That was out from the bush or from the hood. I was not looking like an athlete at all, but I was fit enough to compete. So, because I was always running. So I guess God was pretty much preparing me for that moment. So I didn't know anything about it until the day or 2, 3 days before. They're like, hey, there's a competition. So I'm like, wait a minute, a competition? I'm not even ready for it. But yeah, but I had friends back then when I could join them once in a while. Because in Kenya, there are runners everywhere. And if you wake up in
Yeah,
the
that's like
morning,
your national
you leave,
sport.
yes, you leave through the doors, you see people running in the morning. So
You guys
some are
run
professional runners, some are just running to work or running to school. Kids
the
are running to
lifestyle.
school. People are just running everywhere.
Helter skelter.
So, but that's in the village. In the city, it's more different. Like the towns or in the high school where I was, it was kind of hard to go running because you're in school. And the only thing, and the school where I was in high school was not too far from where I used to stay. So that was it kind of reduced my running chances. But after high school, now I was home. So when I started doing constructions and all that stuff, and in the process, the running to the construction and running, blah, 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 doing assault, daily assault, selling and everything. So that kind of brought in the physical fitness. And after that, I could run again and get a scholarship.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was a huge
Beautiful,
boost.
beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you so much. I just asked you another question. You said your friend told you about the scholarship. Was it a friend who was also competing, or just a friend who knows
He was
about
not
this?
really competing. So in high school, I could hear something like scholarships, but I never understood it perfectly. Like to hey, so I just need to run. But after being home for 3 years, that's when you're like, wait a minute, I need a kind of scholarship to go to college because I was done with school. I was done
Because
with
you couldn't
school.
afford college. Was that
Yeah,
why you were
there's no
still?
way I could have afforded college, and I don't.
Back in Kenya.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, we were living
Wow.
from day to day basis.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
Wow.
look at you now.
we were living day to day basis. We were being kicked out all the time, so from the
Mhm.
rental place. But yeah, it was an interesting life. I used to sell everything. I was selling everything from scratch, anything
So
I
Mm.
you
could
were
get
a
my hand on.
hustler. You really
Yeah,
like were
I
a hard
was.
worker
I was a
even
hard
back
worker.
in.
You do construction in the morning, come home in the evening, open your own little shop, sell stuff, beans, corn, milk, food, products, anything that could get kale, anything, vegetables, tomatoes, all that stuff. So I was just a seller of everything.
And I can still actually see that in you today. You're still a hustler. I think the
Yeah.
hustling spirit is still there, to want to do better, to want to be a better person. People usually think Nigerians are the ones that are hustler, but I
But
tell you,
I've
it's a
met someone
Kenya,
that
and he is an hustler. And when I mean hustler, like, is always wanting to do good stuff, be better,
hard
just
worker.
just something and make something out of something, which is
Yeah,
really good. And I think, one of the things that shaping us as humans is our struggles, our story, our experiences kind of define the way we live our lives. So that was really a beautiful story you just shared with us. And
yeah.
mhm.
We live we live in a borrowed time. We never know when our last day is. And when you're living, when you come to this country, you leave people back home who you know the state they were in when you left. So it's really when you come here and then you start playing around with the things God has blessed you with, like
Mhm.
opportunities to do one or two, three things that can be of help not only to yourself but the people you left back home, then you really be misusing God-given opportunities. So and yeah, the other day I think I told you guys about my accident. So that's when I was like, wait a minute. So if I was to die at that time, I know I trust God to take care of my mama, or if I trust God to take care of whatever happens after I'm dead or something. So if I was to be dead by then there are many things I know I could have wished to have done it to my mom or to anybody that I'm I don't really feel like I'm responsible for, but I feel like God has blessed me to be a blessing to them. So I feel like I could have not accomplished that which I was sent here to accomplish by then. So
And saying that now, I just wanted to backtrack a little bit to what you said about a friend telling you about the scholarship because you've heard about scholarship. So now, bringing it back to what you said that people, God has placed people in your life that you're kind of responsible for. So I just wanted to tie that and say that, sometimes God wants us to be the key to people's life. God has given us the key to people's life in such a way that, somebody's in your life right now that God is wanting you to help them move forward or go to the next stage of their life. Imagine if that friend didn't tell him that there was a scholarship for him to come compete. He probably will not be here today. He probably won't, live the life he wants to live. So when we get information that can shape in
yes.
people's life, let's not hold on to it. Let us give out this information. You don't know whose life you're changing for good. And I'm sure today you still remember that person and you probably, if the person is still alive, you pray for them from the bottom of your heart.
Do you still
And
keep
they are
in
so
touch?
dear to you.
Oh yes, I do keep in touch. When I go home, I try my best to at least visit, say hi, and those who help
That's
also.
a destiny helper, right?
Yeah, like people like that who lift you up like that, we just thank God for them.
Yeah.
Because without people around you, then this.
Yeah, because people think like when you ask God for something, like God is gonna come down from heaven. But God's gonna use people. Like we are the instruments that are gonna do God's work in
Yeah,
people's
God.
lives.
Yeah, God uses people to build
So
you.
yeah, to
Yeah, to
bless
build you.
you. So
Yeah.
there's gonna be someone around you that's gonna be the instrument that God will use to propel you forward. So whether that's a nudge that this is a message saying that you need to be a blessing to someone, try to do that. And also when you recognize that God is sending someone to you, don't reject that favor.
But don't force it. Also, just pray that God
Exactly.
gives you the best way to be an intervening or an
Mm-hmm.
instrument or a vessel.
Stay the
So
force.
yeah,
The
Yeah.
divine
yeah.
I have a question for you, Azaria. I've known you for a while now, and I'll say that, I had a friend back in high school, in college, and this was somebody I'd never seen her get mad before in my life. We used to joke. She's always smiling. You see her, she's always saying hi, smiling. And her name is Shaya. I'm sure if she gets to watch this video, she knows what I'm talking about.
Hi,
Watch this
Shaya.
video.
Okay.
Well, she's actually she smiles all the time, and that's the same person Azaria is. Azaria is
very
keep very jovial. I've never really seen him, mad before. I've never really seen him sad before. Maybe he has his moments where he's kind of like in the corridor in an isolated space or something. I don't know, but he always portrays this attitude of being joyful, happy, and whenever I see him, like, do you don't have problems or something,
right.
Judge?
Like how do you
Like, how do
maintain
you
this
maintain
joy and like you're so very go getter,
joyful?
hard worker. Like how do you please teach us? So that
Do
we
you even get mad? Do you have sad
the
Oh
moments?
man,
discipline. Yeah.
I can't think really of a time I've ever really been mad unless somebody really did something that I feel like it's more offending to God than to anybody else. Because our bodies, we don't have a person. Our personalities are more intertwined with God. So the moment you leave God outside the box, then that's when these other things might seem to be of an influence to you. So I don't know. I don't want to go outside of the questions. Well, like, okay, so let's see here. Do I get mad? Sometimes I don't really get mad. I just feel down. At some points in life, you just wonder what's the point of living based on what's going on around. Like being in the profession we're in, a lot of bad things are happening, and that kind of makes you sad.
As a
You kind of
nurse.
sympathize with pretty much, maybe that's sympathizing, but not really sad. Yeah, so I don't really have a moment when there are moments I'm low, but that's the time I spend time with God, and it kind of uplifts you back up. Because even Jesus had to go, to the side if you're tired about stuff or being with people. You just had to go to the side, pray, spend time with God. Yeah, he's the real source of joy, source of energy. Go out hiking somewhere.
Yeah, he's
go
like
go
our
go.
number one.
The nature is refreshing. We were born to be outside. I feel like we were born
Mhm.
everything green, everything water,
In this
everything
age and
sunshine,
time,
everything.
in this age and time, we're outside means something else.
Yeah, we
To Gen
outside.
Z's, but
We
it means
outside.
it means the nature, like
There's no
outside.
Gen Z. we're all humans. And God, when God created you, no, no, when God created you and me,
Yes.
the 6 days He created, He started with everything outside for the purpose of man's
Mm.
um,
Living.
yeah, rejuvenation and like rebuilding.
Right.
And then the 7 days when He gave you, hey, you need to rest from after. So you need to rest after working all those 6 days. Same thing for us. So we have 6 days to enjoy all the God-given capabilities. Yeah,
Mhm.
everything is provided. All the resources is provided, like the sun, the air, the
Thank
everything,
you.
the hiking, the waters, the
Yeah,
trails.
That's true.
this is like a sign.
So,
I want to
so all those are
start going
resources
out
God
more.
has given us to use to heal ourselves, to spend time with Him, and then after working 6 days, you just get to enjoy the one day off, which is Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you said that some people do Sundays, some of us do
So
Sabbaths on
as long
Saturdays.
as we select a day to rest, that's the main
Yeah,
thing.
So is
we
that
don't.
how you get to, be happy and not be,
So it's like spending
down?
time
So
with
like
God.
you don't have you had moments where you like really down, shut the door and you're like, I'm down for real. Cause
No, I
you
don't think I have.
oh that's beautiful.
I
Cause
don't
I
think I have a moment where I've shut the door and be down like that. Because God says, if you're weary, come unto me. Or if you're down, songs are like an uplifting thing.
Yeah, I noticed
And
you play a lot of
yeah.
music.
I play,
Yeah.
yeah, I do a lot of music.
He sings without even having a good strong voice, but I mean, so one thing I commend you for that. Always staying happy is something that you don't really see. Like it's so hard for people to stay constantly happy in this age and time. Like people are so filled with so much worry that they let that overshadow, the joy they
Because
should have.
the moment you lose focus on what's really important,
Mm.
that's when all these worries comes along, and that's when the worrying comes from not trusting God enough to take care of your. But what is He gonna take care of? I mean, you are God's. I am God's. Everything is God's. So if you just trust Him, hey, you're in good hands. All you have to do is live in this place God has placed you in. This thing called this home we have been given in right now. So we just have to live in it, and
That's good.
yeah,
I mean, look how far that's
one day at a
brought you.
time.
You're doing really well. You are successful.
Mm.
You have been
Yeah,
able to
and
get, a dream. Like you are basically living the American dream.
yeah, and I can't really say I planned for it either, because yeah, I think He did.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that next question and be like, did you ever see yourself,
In
where
this,
you are right now,
yeah.
No,
in the United States, earning your money in dollars, being able to provide, live the
Your
life you
family now,
truly
your family
want.
doesn't have to live from day to day living. Now they can afford a
yeah,
better
they
life.
can
So
have.
you never,
I never
ever.
pictured myself.
Mm.
Wow.
I never pictured myself in this kind of lifestyle. Every time I drive, I'm like, I never thought I could drive a car. Anytime I do anything or anywhere I go, I'm always like, how did I make it here? It's a question I ask myself every day. Even going to work, even go to the job I'm doing right now, it's a huge blessing when you get up in the morning or in the
We
evening
have
to
a
go
job.
to clock in and clock out. That's a it's just a different feeling. It's a blessing.
I kind of really resonate with that a lot because we don't really know what we have. God forbid we lose it. We've gone
Yeah,
through struggles in life to be where we had today. And even me recently, I was just looking back and I was just filled with so much gratitude because only God can help me to get to where I am today. I can't do it by myself. Like we all come from a place where not necessarily the poorest, but we've been through stuff and being in another country, we can walk. So you never dream of this. I mean, I used to always dream as a child to travel abroad, America, and I try to do this little accent back home in Nigeria, but I am
exposed
here
people.
today.
They were more exposed about the outside life than some of
Yeah, I
us
used to
were.
watch
Yeah,
Yeah,
all these American shows. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, maybe I'll go to high school.
yeah.
But at least we're here now. I mean,
yeah.
look at it now.
I think it's more about exposure. So at times you don't really know you're poor until you see somebody else with more than what you got.
It's what you have,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's when you're
Mm,
like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. But God has blessed us with everything we need.
mm,
Like you got a
mm.
brain, you got hands, you got a good body, healthy body. What else do you need?
Got air
But the moment you
lungs.
start looking at other people, what they got, then so you feel like you're lacking something. But in reality, you're really not lacking anything.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you stop yourself from getting sucked into like this American lifestyle? I mean, like lifestyle
We
creep, where you're like having to basically buy
People,
like
yeah,
expensive
people
cars.
are
To
So you
live
said
chasing.
that
flamboyant
yeah,
life.
flamboyant lifestyle. How do
See,
you? But you seem more of like a mellow,
we
humble,
don't need
low
we don't
key.
need any of that. If you think about it, we were born with nothing. We're gonna die with pretty much. We're gonna leave everything behind, right?
Mm.
So what people are chasing right now is all this way of life, the things other people have.
Mm.
That's what people are doing right now. They're all chasing after something they don't really need. Because once you have God, everything else becomes, how do you put it in English? Sub something.
Bible says, "Seek ye the kingdom of God and its
Yeah,
righteousness, and every other thing shall be added unto you."
yeah.
And
That's
then God, our gaze should be on God truly, as Christians.
so once you have the most valuable thing, God, everything else
Mhm.
becomes valueless, and
Mhm.
that's when you don't really see them as a
Mm.
need compared to
More like
once you have God, the other needs becomes like, I don't really need this,
Mm.
unless you just use them to help other people, or you just use them to ask them God second coming or something in that connection. Like, yeah, we don't really need anything. We don't really need anything in this life. You have your God has given us everything. When you're born, the breath of life came in handy, and since then, everything else is just to help build the kingdom.
mm.
Yeah,
This is really nice. I think that's one thing I also admire about you, being able to, I won't say live within your means because you can obviously afford to buy all these things. It just means you work hard more and then spend that money on those things. But just being able to not see those things as necessity. Now, I'm not trying to say bash people that
Yeah,
buy
there's
expensive
nothing
brands.
wrong with
If you have
wanting
the money,
it.
that's you. That's
Yeah.
fine. But
no, 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 no.
some
It's
people.
not fine. If you have the money, look, look, look.
Complain.
People, oh, listeners, let's do this
Ah,
right the way,
not
the right way.
darling.
It's the stewardship thing again. God has placed you. If He has placed you with all the money, use them wisely. We have people
Oh,
in need. We have people who are struggling
Like a
to
wake
meet
up call.
their ends. Like, it's a
but
struggle out there.
I
To be
understand
honest,
you.
that's what I feel too.
It's a
Yeah,
struggle
like
out
it's
But
there.
now we're
just
not gonna tell people how
But
to
extra,
spend their
I'm
money
not telling you how
truly.
to spend your money. I'm just telling you, hey, focus on God, and He's going to help you out on how to spend the
no,
money.
yeah, you're right.
If
You're
God
right.
thinks you can spend the money on an expensive car, and somebody is knocking at your door asking for something you can't really provide, then that's on you and God, or whoever is your master, to decide on what to do. But in reality, it's all about, we're here to help others. God,
No,
Jesus came, He left everything in heaven. He came, became a poor servant like everybody else
Um,
to be to save us from this
to be frank, I
sinful
really,
world.
that's a topic that is a very big topic, and if we go into that, it's gonna take like hours, days. Because one thing that stood out for me was one time I had to go see a family friend who is so dear to me after I got out of school, and they left me with this sentence or this statement that I can never forget, and that's been like a yardstick for my life. She said, Joke, why would you want to buy something so expensive when you can get that same thing for like half the price, maybe not the same brand, and then use the remaining money to help others. And these people live very comfortable
Sacrifice.
life, and that really stood out for me, to be honest. Since then, before I buy things, I think twice. Now, I'm not saying don't buy whatever you want, but I would say before I buy things now, I think twice. Okay, if I buy this, can I get another cheaper one that will give me the same quality, same value? If it's just a brand, I'm fine. I don't care. As far as can offer me the same thing, yes. And then use the money for some other things. There's so many people. Actually, there's so many people that we need to help. There's so many people in need outside, and I understand where it's coming from, because when you experience something like this, you can understand
Yeah.
that
When you
perspective.
experience the lack of
Yeah,
something,
you know
Mm-hmm.
you are
how
willing so
the
much to
struggle.
sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm.
something can be of help to someone else experiencing
Mm-hmm.
something you are experiencing before.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because you kind of have that perspective of being on both sides of the coin where you've had lack and then now you're actually
You
in
have it.
Have
abundance.
adequate, yeah.
And maybe that's probably why you know how to spend wisely as well.
Mm.
Yes. That's when you know the real meaning of life. You're like, hey, I don't need this, I need that. But if you
Mm.
don't need something, don't buy it.
Mm.
If you
Wow.
can live without it anyways.
That's pretty profound. Just a recap of Azaria's story. Azaria is a young man who, oh my, Keith, he goes by
Yeah.
Kim, who
Keep
came
it
from
moving.
Kenya on a full scholarship because they could run long distance, and he did that for his school for a couple of years while they paid his tuition and allowed him to
Yeah,
pursue his
did they even
degree
give you like a
in,
Oh
stipend?
my,
in
everything.
nursing.
Everything was
You get
covered.
you get food, you get shelter, you get pocket money, you get
Wow.
extra money to spend on stuff. Anything I needed, I just asked the school. They were like my parents. Like
Oh,
I need
wow.
a pen. I couldn't spend anything on a pen even. I couldn't buy my own pen. They had to
Oh,
give
wow.
it to me.
Oh,
It would be a violation if I did that.
really?
Yeah, like hey, we are the ones providing. Why are
Oh,
you
wow.
spending
This
your
is really
money on
nice.
something?
if you
So
want candies, you have to tell them.
yep, anything you need.
Wow.
But they had candies and everything. They had all that stuff. If anything I needed, I had to go to them.
That's like a blank check.
Yeah, that was I was taken well care of.
If you ask for car, would they have given you?
Not a car. I don't need that. I mean, they give us computers. They gave us everything. But that was just a borrowed, but until after college. But yeah, it was
Wow.
everything was handed to you, like everything, everything in traveling expenses, hotels, anything you wanted was taken
Hmm.
care of.
Wow.
Yeah, it
And
was
I've
really
had people
beautiful.
also get that kind of scholarship to do like basketball or that thing sport now. So if you're good at something, I think it would be best for you to explore what opportunities you can get with your talent. Don't let go. Be
Yeah,
strong. Be good at whatever you're doing right now. If it's even to play chess or scramble,
Yeah,
you,
chess,
you know what's gonna
basketball,
happen.
soccer.
Hmm.
as long
Yeah.
as you're doing it for God's glory, have fun.
Because
And
it took you like 3 years to like build yourself and then you finally
Hmm.
learn it. So while you're in that your waiting season, you feel like, oh, there's no way forward. You just like you have this talent, but you can't see. You just keep praying,
Hmm.
keep
and
seeking
yeah,
connections with people. You might find that one person that will just connect you.
and there are
Where
also
you need to be.
people who might be so focused on the one thing and then lose focus on what really God wants them to do. So if that's not
Mm,
the way for you, don't force it.
that's true.
Some people have sacrificed so much to the one sport
Mm.
and then they
It's
end up
still
not
not.
making any progress in
Yeah.
life. So
Just.
just put God first. It's the one who's gonna guide you on the
Mm,
best ways to
mm,
go.
mm.
Because yeah, that's the only way I felt like I enjoyed myself. Because things just fell into place because I was relying more on God, not on this is what I want. I'm gonna stick to this until I get it.
Mm.
So it's
No, no,
more of
no.
like God let you
Be
know the plan.
flexible. Yeah, do your thing, do God's thing, and you'll be fine.
Mm.
Oh yeah, because I was going to ask you the last question we have for you is to what advice do you have for young people out there? But it looks like you just kind of like
Just give,
brush, yeah,
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 like
God
like
first.
a young
like
athlete that might be watching this
or
or
even
a
anything
kid.
you're doing and you feel like you're not doing right, or you feel like you're in the same spot, or you're not from the best of the best background. You're
Mm.
trying to get into college. It's so hard. You're thinking maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not meant to be this. This is a story to inspire you, and he has a word for you.
All right. So for people back home, this is keep speaking to you on a personal level.
Mm.
First things first, God first. Secondly, once you have God, put the hard work in. God says, whatever God places you your hands, whatever you find yourself doing, give it your best, and the people around you will see that, or God will see that and place it and find a way to improve you.
Mm.
And for the people here, the same thing applies when it comes to working hard. Like if God places you with something to do, just wholeheartedly do it. Loving that God, loving people, and just being there for anybody who needs your help. I mean, healthly wise, don't do it too much, but do the best way you can.
Uh-huh.
And God will nourish you. God will bless you to be more of a blessing. And sometimes we hold too much to ourselves. We don't really give away. That's when we hold the blessings for the other people. So please, once you've been blessed, bless others.
Mm.
Bless others. And don't spend too much on yourself, because what's the point?
Mm.
All right. That's my piece to everyone, every creature and creator,
Mm.
our being God
Thank
created.
you.
And yeah, thank you guys for
Yes.
hosting me here today. I feel
Welcome. Yes.
humbled, if not honored, to be
Oh
amidst two
no,
precious
We're so excited to
ladies.
have someone this important in society, someone who has done so much for himself and through the help of God.
and helped
It's not
others.
something you come by daily.
Yeah, we are here for others, never for ourselves.
Mm.
Mm.
Jesus did that. It's our mission to do the same. He
Mm.
called us to be his disciples. So
Oh.
always be there for others. That's the
Mm.
only thing we're here for. When you die, hey, you're going to be in a better place when he comes back.
Mm.
I think one thing I'm taking out of this is be a blessing to others. If when God blesses you, be a blessing to others.
And definitely put God first.
Yeah.
Yes, God
Put
first,
God first.
seek ye first, as she said.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank
you'll
you
be in
so
good
much.
hands. We're in good hands. God is our provider, our sustainer, our physician, our
Mm.
healer, our
Mm.
restorer,
Okay, we can
our
go on and
everything.
go on and go on with
Yes.
those
Yeah.
names because
And our
it's
friend.
endless.
Yeah.
And also being a good steward of whatever
Yeah.
talent
God,
God give, like our
Yeah.
time, our body, and our talent. That's one thing I
And
have
the
to
breath of
say.
life. Yeah. Be a good
Yeah.
steward of that too.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Keith.
you.
We're so thankful
Thank
to
you.
have you here today, taking our time from your busy time. This man is always busy. Like he runs every day in the
If you
morning, in
don't,
the
yeah. How many
evening.
miles do you run every
Oh,
day?
come on, let's not do that. Okay, 10 miles, around 10. 7 to 10 miles.
Can you see that?
7 to 10
Every
miles.
and he goes to work 12-hour shift every single day.
Hey,
And he still does
I'm trying to keep the order from
nine
above.
miles. Mm.
Yeah.
This guy is a hard worker. That's what I'm saying. Like to catch him free, nah. It's always like on the go,
Hey,
which is good. It's
they,
very inspiring.
they always say an idle mind is the devil's.
Workshop.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
idleness is one last thing you want in your mind. Just
Mm.
try to run from that as much as you can.
Mm.
So if you don't have anything to do, go to work. If you have something to do, please do it. And
Mm.
have fun in that process. They normally say if you enjoy doing what you do, you feel like you're off, but you're really working. So if you're there for others, then you're not really working. You're there for others. You're there to help out. It's a blessing in its own way. You get the money out of it, but the money is not really the big thing here.
Mm.
It's just being there for them. Sometimes I feel like when I'm away, I'm like, oh man, today I feel like I could have done this, I could have helped somebody. And yeah, it's just like a calling. You keep getting called to go do something. It's a precious thing when we're there for others. There's just a different feeling about it. Yeah.
Oh,
And we
cute.
get blessed by blessing others. So hey, let's enjoy the blessings as they come. Just like these precious people here. I love them.
Aw.
Yeah. Though I don't really see them a lot, but
I know, like
You see me every time when I come to
oh
stop
yeah,
your floor.
she keeps coming to my floor, so I love that too. So
Well, thank
yeah.
you so much. We're so excited to have you again once again, and it is a blessing to have you here. And I hope somebody out there has learned so much from this
Yeah.
story.
Hope
This
you're
is a
inspired.
story, yeah, of someone who could not run who was running without shoes to someone who runs with one of the best shoes in the
Yeah,
country.
that's
So
facts.
that is a true story of hope and
Yeah,
a true
actually I
story
didn't
of
think of that
joy and
until now.
success. Yeah.
But yeah,
They
but
didn't have a they didn't have bicycles in their village. Like that's like
it was rare to see a
another
bicycle, so
right. So
yeah.
he has to depend on his two legs.
Which is the best thing, guys? If you can do it, please avoid cars and avoid bicycles. That's the if you've been blessed with a car and a bicycle, try not to use too much of it.
Thank you,
Because
Mr. Kim.
physical activity is important.
Thank you,
I
Okay.
keep telling them that too.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Kim.
you.
Yeah.
I
Move.
mean,
Activity.
yeah, yeah.
Like they
Active.
don't think get be active.
Be
You can
active.
see this dude is like
Be active.
1% body fat. Do you have any body fat on you?
I don't know. When God created Adam and Eve, He told them, "Hey, take care of the garden." So you have to be active.
Mm.
That's the only way God's gonna bless you. Sweat. Sweat is key.
Okay, we'll start
Driving is
with-
no sweat. Biking maybe, but no driving. No.
Okay.
You can drive to work, but
He's a really funny dude too.
Yeah.
yeah, he's trying to stop. She's trying to stop.
Whenever I try to laugh so hard, I find him. So that's how it makes me crack up a lot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've learned so much from you today, and I think the viewers also will be able to learn so much from you that being from somewhere does not define you. If I ever send anyone an email, I have this little quote I have underneath my email of which I formed myself, and it's change the narrative. The change is you are the change. Some people are looking for some other people to make that change, but you can create that change for your family. You can change the narrative, change the story. God help you. So don't limit yourself. Don't stay in the box and think God can't move. God can move for you. So I hope the story of Mr. Keep has inspired someone out there today to know that they can be who they want to be. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
from rags to riches.
Yeah,
From the
exactly.
it
From
was
rags
from
to riches.
trenches to
Rags.
From rags to
Rags.
riches. I
Rags.
like that. Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, guys, I hope you're
Hey,
inspired
this
by
place
the
is so
story
rich.
of
Yeah.
Kid. And
Look around you.
whatever
ah.
you are trying to do
Everything
in
is rich.
life, just remember to put God first.
Mhm.
Remember to be a good steward of your time and your talent and your body. And also remember be
Yes.
disciplined and be outside. Not
Yes.
the outside.
Be outside. Be careful.
Be
Outside.
outdoors.
Be
Yeah.
Be
outdoors.
outdoors,
Be
not
outdoors.
outside though.
Be
Outdoorsy.
outdoors. Yes.
Live the
Alright,
life
guys.
God has blessed you with.
Yes.
Amen to that.
So again, let's do
Amen.
drum rolls for Mr. King, guys. We're so blessed to have him as
Woohoo!
a we're so blessed to have him as a friend as well.
Yes,
So for
a
sure,
wonderful friend, very
a friend and a
Oh, look at
brother.
these
very
beautiful people. I
generous,
love them. Yeah.
very inspiring. So
Mhm.
yes. Well, thank you
Yeah.
guys so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.
Yep. May the
Signing out
la-
now. It's a girl Adejoke. Make sure you
yeah.
like,
Teni,
subscribe, and comment, and follow us.
and this is cute.
Yes. Be the summonette. Be the summon. May your life be the summon.
All right,
Woohoo!
guys.
Woo!
Like, comment.
Absorb, procreate, accelerate.
Accelerate is a new one. Come
Yes,
on, go, guys.
accelerate.
See you next time. We love you.
Bye.